What's up, guys? So I've got a LYRILUSC Tri-Brigade profile today. So I took this to the OTS Championship. I did okay. I got 5th place, going X1-1 after 6 rounds of Swiss. I definitely think this is the best deck of the format. I think it's undisputed the best. I think, like, even the games that I lost are 100% down to just me misplaying for the most part. This deck is really, it really rewards you for knowing the combos well. And if you do, I literally don't think there's any deck that comes close. It really just dominates every matchup. As turn 1 board is an FTK, it goes into Zeus super easily going second or into Charak or whatever. So it just outs pretty much any board. Again, I really think this is by far the best deck of the format. But yeah, I'll get into the profile. So for the LYRILUSC, you play 3 turquoise, 3 cobalt, 3 canary, 1 sapphire, and I don't have them with me because I actually borrowed them off a mate, but 2 celestine as well. So turquoise, cobalt, and beryl are just all really good starters and extenders. Turquoise obviously is going to summon your cobalt out, which is great, and beryl's a 1 card XYZ, and that's why you play these all at 3. You just always want to see these cards. You always want to see some sort of combination of these cards. Even seeing cobalt plus canary is still good combo, just because of how it works. Sapphire is a little bit of a brick, which is why I play at 1. I only ever really want to search her in my combo. You can go ahead and play at 3 and bump all your wing beasts up to other wing beasts up to 3 as well, but because I'm playing at 1, that means I can play smaller amounts of the other wing beasts, and it gave me more space for utility. But yeah, that's the ratios wrong with these. And then 2 Celestine. Celestine's really, really good as well, but again, I think she's better than Sapphire in terms of just drawing her, because she searches Bird Call, but most of the time I want to search Bird Call during my combo. Her graveyard effect is Nutstone. She's also a really good discard for Keras. Beryl plus Celestine is a 4 to 6 material, 4 to 6 material and Zombie plus Utopia Future. So it's still combo, it's still a nuts board just from those 2 cards. And then turquoise plus cobalt, any combination of turquoise plus cobalt, whether it's turquoise plus cobalt or turquoise plus fractal, that's full combo. So yeah, like I said, it's just a really, really good package. Yeah, you can run with different ratios, but that's what I liked and it worked well for me. Then moving on to the Tri-Brigade, so we have the 1 kit, 1 Keras, 2 Nerval, and 3 Fractals. So I was originally playing 3 Nerval, but again, I tried to streamline the engine a bit just so I could play more utility. But yeah, it really, really performed. The thing about Tri-Brigades obviously is they have 2 really consistent lines of play in terms of they can normal summon and they can Keras to get their Tri-Brigade plays. And then that's what makes it so strong, because obviously you have all the plays from your birds, and then you have all the plays from your Tri-Brigades. So yeah, really, really good engine. Kit is I wouldn't even say she's really a brick. You just would ideally want to search her off your Nerval. You want to search one of these off your Nerval, one of these off your Charak. So she's not really a brick, but yeah, that tends to be the one you add then normal summon, and then you send to the grave so you can send the Oath. So a lot of the times in games 2 and 3, I side out the Kit and the Oath, because if I'm not going first, and then I just have the package as this, which is just as good. But yeah, really, really good. Again, Tri-Brigades just do a lot for the engine. They give it a good normal summon. There's other normal summon engines you can do. You can play regular LYRILUSCs, but this just allows you to fully utilize all the resources you get. And then we have the bricks. And they're not even really bricks. So you have Apex Avian and DD Crow. What's nice about Apex Avian is obviously it's a little bit of a brick, but you can discard this off Keras for someone, which is nice. But yeah, he's great. He's just a non-negate. And then DD Crow. This card is so good this format because of Enforcer and Celestial, to be honest. You need to really lock down the graveyard against that card. I would even consider bumping this up to 2. It's just a really, really good card this format. And I put in work all day. Yeah, I really enjoyed having it. Then we have the only hand trap I ran, which was, well, actually no, I ran perm as well, but yeah, Droll. I just ran Droll. The problem is this format is every deck can play through hand traps. It's functionally redundant to play hand traps, in my opinion, playing Ash and stuff, trading 1 for 1, and then the deck just plays through it anyway. Or if they can't play through hand traps, they're playing talents, and so they rip your hand. And so my philosophy was more, I only want to run really high impact hand traps, or just run board breakers instead. And so that's why I ran Droll. I also didn't want to run into talents as well. I didn't get hit by talents. Actually, no, I did get hit by talents just once in the last game, but it didn't matter anyway. But yeah, so just 3 Droll because it's really good. It stops all the FTK decks pretty much, which is like this. All the decks like this that are going to combo and knock you out of the game, it just stops them from playing the game. Every time I saw it, I was super happy. Then I also play 3 Dark Ruler No More. same kind of thing. It just cracks every board at the moment. Really good card. And what's great about this deck, obviously, is you can just negate their board, go into Zeus, clear their board, and then you've still got your normal summon to play after that. Then playing 3 Bird Pool, just another copy of all your Lyriluscs. This card's really good as well, obviously, because it allows you to play around draw and stuff by sending the card to the graveyard. So this plus Cobalt, you can send this plus Turquoise, I don't know, whatever the special summon one is. You can send that the card off this to the graveyard and then special summon the cards so you don't play into draw, which is really, really nice. But yeah, Bird Pool, great card at 3. Then Call by the Grave. I actually played 3 Chalice. I just happened to trade the other ones away for that gold one. But yeah, so it just kind of dispels the 1 Call by the Grave, 3 Chalice, 1 Tanky, 1 Duster, 1 for 1. So Chalice is amazing, this format. It really just does a good job of dealing with a lot of threats like DPE, like the Sword Soul boards, even though I play no Sword Soul. But yeah, this card's just really, really good. I would really recommend playing it. And it's better than in Perm, obviously, because in Perm, you need to have no monsters on board. So they can't, like, a lot of the times when you're getting Shadow, or even had a Shadow player try and do it, they'll try and bait you into normal summoning or putting a monster on board first. If you have Chalice, it doesn't matter because you just negate that. And then running 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Chalice, and 3 in Perm, like, I'm always drawing at least 1, but usually 2 ways to negate stuff on my board just so I can play. Because I know my engine's so strong that as long as I can get into my engine, I'll win the game. Then the one-offs, because they're just all good. Then, as for the rest of the cards, 1 Oath and 3 in Perm. So this card is a big part of what makes the board so oppressive, because this stops people out in your board with things like Evenly, Dark Ruler, Mystic Mine, all of that. I really underestimated this card at first, but now I really recognize why it's so strong. This is essentially why this deck is FTK and why it's the best deck. Because you put Oath in the grave and now your opponent needs to draw 2 to 3 unsearchable cards. They need to draw like Evenly, Lightning Storm, and also still be able to combo after that, just to be able to play the game, which is what makes it so good. It also has a pretty good effect where it can special summon a monster as well. That's its on field effect. I actually used it once this tournament, which is quite funny. But yeah, so drawing it isn't actually the end of the world. And then 3 in Perm. So I played 3 in Perm again. Like I said, I don't like playing hand traps normally, but this is more defensive. I was never shotgunning this on my opponent's turn. It's rare. If I was doing that, then I knew like I completely had it in the bag. It was more for saving it for my turn so I could turn off things like Apollo and stuff like that. But yeah, really, really performed well. So that was the main deck, 40 cards. Then moving into the extra deck. My extra philosophy was the same thing, really, just standard ratios, nothing too special. So we have Almirage, Double Dragon Lords, Ferrigit, and some more. So these are kind of your just one-off generic links. Almirage just helps fix a lot of hands. A nice way to send kit to the graveyard for free. This is a lot of the times your Lyrilusc. If your hand is a bit awkward, you normal summon the Lyrilusc. Like a lot of barrel hands, you normal summon the Lyrilusc, send it to grave by making Almirage, and then you use Barrel's effect, and then you can extend from there. Double Dragon Lords, you're going to be bringing up your Tri-Brigades often. Ferrigit, again, just part of your combo, and it's just a nice card in general. It just does a lot for the deck. And some more. This card is amazing, and it wins a lot of matchups you wouldn't expect. So things like the Sky Striker matchup, this is so good because they can't target this card or the Wing Beast it points to. And it also gains advantage every end phase. The effect of summon from the deck is both your and their end phase. So because of that, it just puts in so much work. I went into small, got a lot most of the time. Like I'd rather go into this than Appaloosa, because Appaloosa is quite easy to out one in Perm, they out it. Whereas this with that card below it, that Apex Avian below it, it's like your opponent's going to struggle to out that. Then we play 2 Charak. This card's amazing. The reason why I play 2 is partially because I don't have access code. If I had access code, I'd probably just play access code instead. And also just because it's a good card, you use one of them as part of your combo to search, and then the other one is kind of just follow up for the next turn to win the game, and 1 Appaloosa. I would definitely say this card underperformed. It's weird because this card is great in terms of like stopping things like Nibiru and stuff, but in this deck, you tend to go into F0 in most of your combos. And so the combos where you use this to dodge Nibiru are just less useful. There was actually one game, my last match, I should have gone into Appaloosa, and then because of that, I got Nibiru and I ended up losing that game. I won the match, but I lost that game. But yeah, it's just subpar. It's just very easy to out. It's rare that all of its negates matter. Like, yeah, just this card isn't that good. And I think I'd probably cut Appaloosa and play the Link 3, because the Link 3, there's a lot of combos. If you play either Rugal or Desperate Doom Eagle, that opens up a lot more combos in this deck. And I missed it a lot. There was a lot of times when I was comboing, I was like, damn, if I just had a Link 3, I'd be able to combo, or I'd be able to make my board and have Oath. but I didn't. I had Appaloosa, so yeah, it was really, really subpar in my opinion, especially because everyone's running chalice and stuff. Then for your LYRILUSC XYZs, yeah, they're just all busted. And Zonblue's amazing, bounces cards, and it returns a card to hand, so it's follow-up. Assembled is just incredible, obviously attacking your opponent a bunch of times, and also just hard to out. Like the amount of times, I didn't go into Zeus a lot, because the problem with going into Zeus is that it's great until your opponent trolls in perm or chalice and stuff, which everyone's playing. But if you have this with a cobalt under this, you can just sit on this for ages. I had 2 or 3 games where I had this with cobalt and Celestine under it, and I just kept attacking my opponent 3 or 4 turns in a row, and they can't out it. Every turn I'd attach Celestine and then put it back, so they can't target it, destroy it, and it's doing 800 damage every turn. It's just letting me accrue resources. So this card is just really, really good. But there's no point playing it 2, because if you really need to recycle in Zonblue, you can. And 3 is Soul Recital. I never went into the 3rd, so I might cut that as well for something else, but I guess it is kind of a nice to have. But yeah, this card is really, really good, just obviously searching all of your LYRILUSCs. And also it has a kind of funny OTK play you can do, because your opponent takes the battle damage from attacks with this, but I never pulled that off today. And then lastly, we have the F0 package in Zeus. Not really much to say about this. This is just good for the negates. Future actually did come up in one game. My opponent tried to destroy Future and then they couldn't, and that ended up like baiting a negate, which is nice. But yeah, it's just a good card. Draco Future's a hard card to out for a lot of decks because it can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Having said that, again, like I keep saying, Chalice, Imperm, these cards are running rampant at the moment, which is a problem because you can target this. And Zeus, this deck makes Zeus so easily. I did used to play 2 Zeus, but it just never came up, and so I cut the second Zeus. And then going into the side deck, so my side deck definitely wasn't good, and I definitely would make a lot of changes. So I played 3D Barrier. This card just never came up. I don't think it's a bad card, but it's not doing anything that my deck already doesn't do. And my philosophy was, I should have another kind of turn skip card. But I mean, and partially as well, I didn't play against any Sword Soul, so I feel like if I played against Sword Soul, this might have come up more. But I mean, I wanted some sort of turn skip card, but just never really came up in any of my matches, so I'll definitely remove this. Free Featherstorm because it's OP. Red Reboot, again, this deck, you want to stun their board, going second, you want to stun their board and then just Zeus and then combo. And I never drew it, but it's a good card. Nibiru is another card I'd remove, and it's really because at the moment, this isn't really stopping anyone. Like I said, everyone's playing talents, or they're playing a deck like this, and essentially they can either combo after Nibiru, so it doesn't matter, or if you Nibiru them, they talent you and then you get punished for the Nibiru as well. And so it just never really came up. Like, I sided it in once or twice, but even when I sided it and I had it in my hand, it just felt like a brick. Like, I didn't want to drop it, or if I did drop it, they would just carry on comboing, so I'll definitely get rid of this. Mystic Mind, this card, I actually lost. My one loss was to this card, and I'll explain it later. It was because I misplayed, but yeah, this card's amazing. I would play that at 3, definitely. And 3 evenly matched. This is the MVP in the side deck. Every going second game, I side this in. There's not a lot of spell and trap negation at the moment, so if you're siding in evenly matched, you just clear every board and then your opponent's screwed. But yeah, evenly matched, really, really good card. I would even consider main decking it. That's how good it is, this format, just because it literally clears every board. No one's making Dragoon and stuff. The only Omni negate is Sword Soul occasionally, which I didn't play, making Baroness. But yeah, this card was just amazing. So yeah, that was the deck. In terms of matchups, so round 1 I was against Dragon Link, quick 2-0. Round 2 against Invoke Dogmatica Shadow, again, quick 2-0. Round 3 was against Virtual World. It should have been a quick 2-0, but game 2, I made a mistake. I got confused. I don't know what was happening, but I got confused, and I needed one card to combo, basically, and so I Fractal, they negated Fractal's effect, and I tried to use Fractal Send, and instead of adding Keras, I added another Fractal. I think I was confused. I sent a Fractal, another one, and instead of adding Keras, so I could special summon and carry on, I added Keras, which basically meant my board didn't have Oath. Sorry, I added Fractal instead of adding Keras, which meant my board didn't have Oath, so they cracked my board, and then we actually still grinded out that game, but then I lost that game, but then I won the next game. But yeah, so that was 2-1. Game 4 was against Drytron. That was my only loss, really big misplay. Game 1, he went first, combos. Game 2, I just sat on Assembled and Utopic because I drew Featherstorm, and I was like, I don't want to commit too many resources. But then I made the mistake of, so he puts Mystic Mind down, we're passing with 20 turns, and I know that I can out with Oath, so I'm not too bothered. Then I eventually get Oath, but I don't know what I was thinking, but for some reason I forgot that you needed all 3 types. I only had 2 types on board when I norm summed the Fractal. I should have waited until I had another type. And so then he just outs my Fractal next turn by summoning a Nova with Drytron Nova, and then I end up losing that game, which is really, really sad. I shouldn't have lost that game. Definitely my misplay. Game 5 against Sky Striker, we drew. Just that matchup's a little bit annoying, but again, it's an easy matchup if you play it well. And then game 6 against PK, that was a really, really close game. Game 3, he just forgot to overlay. He stole my future with talents, but he forgot to overlay it with Zeus, so I got to attack him back with it, and then I won. But yeah, so like I said, this deck is amazing. Definitely the best deck of the format. I don't think I'm the best pilot for it. That's why I didn't do better. But fully, if you play well and you put in the time, this deck will win every game in this format. It's just so busted. But yeah, so thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.